Welcome to another Empires and Puzzles Books weekly raid tournament sneak preview video. Each week on either Friday or Saturday, I will share the details of the upcoming raid tournament that will arrive in our game on Sunday. I will also discuss the details of the team and strategy that I will be using for tournament defense. I will also typically share the defense team that took first place the last time we had this event played. Unfortunately, I was traveling the last time we had this event and I did not record the winning teams, so I will not be able to share that this week. I am able to share the tournaments in advance because I have been logging details of the tournament since they started, and this is the third cycle through a series of events. There's no guarantee these events will not be changed, but as long as they follow the recorded order, these videos should be accurate as to which event is taking place each week. If you're interested in knowing which tournament is coming, please subscribe to the channel and you will see it every Friday or Saturday. Let's get into looking at this week's tournament. On Sunday, we're going to be able to register for the 4-star buff booster tournament without any nature heroes. We will be limited to 4-star or lower heroes and 3-star or lower troops. If you have them, 4-star heroes are probably the best bet for your defense team. As there are no nature heroes, that means ice will be strong, as there is no element that is strong against ice. Therefore, ice will most likely be the tank of choice. Keep in mind that having no nature heroes also means that fire is not strong against any color, so they might not be our first choice in heroes. When there is an element missing, there is a temptation to use a full mono defense, thinking that all of the heroes will be strong. I do not advise a full mono defense unless you have the troops and emblem usage to justify it. Otherwise, forcing mono simply adds unnecessary weakness for a slight gain in defensive power. You might also be risking losing some synergy in the team. As this event is a buff booster tournament, each buff adds an attack booster. What is a buff? When your hero's special goes off and adds a special icon to your hero that increase abilities, like increased attack, increased defense, etc., that is a buff. This is also true for the enemy. If their special goes off and adds special icons to their heroes, it is a buff for them and will increase their attack power. In very few rare occasions, our heroes might add buffs to the enemy. Typically, our heroes add ailments to the enemy, things that hurt them, but sometimes we inadvertently give them a buff. One example that would apply to this tournament would be the hero Wilbur. He gives both sides the buff of shared damage. Now, before you go hating on poor Wilbur, he also gives the enemy negative 44% defense, so that may more than make up for giving them a bit of a boost in attack. I'm going to now list all of the 4-star heroes that add buffs, except for the nature heroes, as they're not allowed in this event. If I happen to miss one or two, please post in the comments. I'm going to be paying particular attention to the heroes that buff multiple allies for maximum benefit. Let's talk about ice first, since they will be the strongest for the event. There are 6 4-star ice heroes that add buffs: Agui, Boral, Boral Costume, Corel, Triton, Valeria, and Mireweave. Agui increases defense for all allies from nature, which will not be beneficial for this event as there is no nature. I would not consider that hero for this event. Boral and Boral Costume give either 5 or 3 allies counterattack. Boral is a sturdy tank, and it very well be worth considering him as the tank for this week. A number I look at when considering tanks is doubling the defense stat and adding it to the health. When we do that math, Boral Costume and Boral are the top 2 4-star heroes using this number. Krill provides allies with 2 buffs, increased attack and increased defense. This can be a huge advantage as it adds 2 buffs. Be careful if you consider Costume Krill, as he does not add buffs to your team, but rather ailments to the enemy. They can still be beneficial, but consider all options before choosing him. For this event, I would more seriously look at the regular Krill than the costume for this reason. Mireweave and Valeria only add 1 buff to themselves, so they're not my first choice for this event, and I will not get into details on them. Triton, the sniper, is worth considering as he adds 39% healing to all allies. That is a good buff to have, especially if you're using a bunch of healers, which this event tends to have a lot of healers because of the number of buffs they add. For dark heroes, there are only 3. that add buff, at least on 4 stars. Boomer, Cyprian, and Regard Costume. Boomer adds defense against Holy for himself and nearby allies, while Cyprian gives all allies that painful 125% counter attack. Regard Costume, who some feel is an honorary 5-star, boosts everyone's attack by 48% in addition to healing and cleansing. That is a big number and worthy of consideration. Since his arrival, he has been on many of the top teams in the buff events. Next, let's look at the holy heroes that add buffs. There are 4: Danzaburou, Gullinbursti, Gretel, and Wukong. I know Danzaburou is not a very popular hero, but I absolutely love him. If you've not seen it, check out my playlist for Team Danzaburou. He really is an incredible hero. Regardless of my feelings that he is a great hero, I most likely wouldn't use him for this event, as only one of his specials adds buffs. Gullinbursti is a newer 3-star hero worthy of consideration. This hero adds 400 health onto all of your heroes, and if your heroes max out on health, he pushes the health meter up higher than what your maximum HP is, up to 100%. He also adds a buff only to himself that increases his attack at the end of 4 turns. That attack can be increased up to 280%, and he hits all enemies when he goes off. That's a big hit. It is unusual to see a healer that also strikes, so this hero is worth considering. Gretel only adds a buff to herself, which is a big increase to defense from special skills. I will not be considering her for defense for this event. Wukong, like Danzaburou, can be a very unpopular hero because of the randomness that his special provides to the entire team. The whole team gets negative 32% accuracy for 5 turns in exchange for a massive 185% increase in attack. That's a huge increase, and it stacks with the added attack from the Bust Booster event. It's been a while, but Wukong has been in the top 5 teams more than a few times. I wouldn't rule him out, especially if you have him emblemed for Titans. Lastly, let's look at the fire heroes. Keep in mind they will not be strong against any color in this event. They will still be weak against ice, which we will see plenty of, and have a normal attack against everyone else. The 5 heroes we're going to be looking at are Bold Tusk Costume, Sir Lancelot, Shade Reeve, and Wilbur. Both Bold Tusks are healers that provide attack boost for the entire team. This will stack with the attack boost from the buffs tournament, so the multiplication here gets very strong. Sir Lancelot is a decent hero that buffs himself and nearbys with plus 48% attack. This will stack with the buff booster as well, but would override Bold Tusk. That said, I would not pair these 2 heroes together. Another hero that should be mentioned is Sumitomo from Atlantis. That hero adds counterattack to himself, and he also regenerates health over a few turns. Not somebody I would consider for this event, as he's only buffing 1 hero, but might work for your team. Shade Reeve is a Season 3 hero that may very well be a beast for this event, even though they are a fire hero. Shade Reeve adds 3 buffs to all allies. 3. Everyone gets 30% more attack, which will stack with the buff booster, and a 30% increase to the chance for critical hits, and the Draugr Blessing, which allows any killed ally to be reborn as a Draugr. Even with slow mana, I like this hero and very well might be considering them for my team. Wilbur is the old standby. He will add 2 buffs to your entire team, but also add 1 to the enemy. He is often seen in the top 5 of the Bust Booster events. If you have Wilbur, especially with emblems, he is worthy of consideration. Now that we covered heroes that add buffs, it is also important to consider the heroes that will remove buffs from the enemy, or the 1 hero that will prevent buffs from being placed in the first place. The 2 heroes that will debuff the enemy in this event are 4-star Ice hero Sonya, who is a sniper, and 4-star Dark healer Sabina. There's also another unique hero worth considering, and that is 4-star Holy Mist from Season 3. She can prevent 3 enemy from receiving new buffs for at least 3 turns, so that might be somebody worth considering for your team. As always, I recommend considering any heroes that increase your team's defense or mana generation, and likewise any hero that reduces the attacker's defense or mana abilities. Second to that would be attack increasers. So, which team am I running this week? I rarely emblem 4-star heroes, so most of my heroes will not have that added advantage. On paper, I have to think that Costume Boral is the best tank for this week, and that is who I will be running in as my tank. I wish I had some emblems on him to increase his defense as a Paladin class hero, as that talent would be greatly beneficial to a tank, as we have seen with Taloria. Next, I'm going to take a gamble on slow mana flanks. On the left flank, I will be using Jot, who I have at 18 emblem nodes, as he is a key fixture on my team that vaporizes Fire Titans. My rationale for using Jot is that he hits very strong, and even stronger with the buff booster in place, and other attack ups that I'll be using. But more interesting to me is that he drastically reduces the value of the ice tiles on the board for the attacker. Nature tiles are nearly worthless in this event since there are no nature heroes. Fire tires are not strong against anyone. If I use Jot to reduce the power of the ice tiles, that leaves only 2 elements left for which the enemy can be strong against me. The idea of taking power away from 3 of the 5 elements is too tempting for me to pass up. Gullinbursty will be my other slow flank. I'm choosing them because of the details I shared previously. Although they are both slow, I'm hoping that Boral's counterattack will help keep them safe long enough to fire. I think if Gullinbursty can fire at least once, it will be hard to take down this team. In the first wing position, I'll be using Costume Regard. His attack up, healing, and cleansing are very valuable, and that is why he is often seen in this position in the winning teams in the buff booster events. There's also the added advantage of using Costume Regard, as it might appease my alliance mate Bongholio, who always gets on my case for not using this hero. Time to dust off Costume Regard and get him into some action. The right wing will be Sonya for fast sniping and debuffing of the enemy. That is most likely the team I'm rolling with unless somebody wants to change my mind. Feel free to share your team in the comments below or critique mine. I'm open to any ideas and suggestions you might have, maybe things that I've missed. For this week's event, I hope your defenses are sturdy, attacks are strong, and the tiles are fortunate. Thanks for watching.